What's going on, guys? Gamer Dude back once again with some more informative gaming news. But before we begin, y'all know the routine. If you could please smash that like button and drop me a subscribe, it would be super appreciated. And just your good deed of the day, same applies if you are a returning viewer. So then, as you can tell from the title, we are finally getting a new update for Marvel's Avengers, and it is quite a significant one. It is an actual hero with actual content and not just an Echo character with no story and having to redo the same missions a trillion times over. Anyway, in this video, I'm going to dive deep into what Square Enix have actually come out and said, or rather, Embracer Group have come out and said. And I'm going to tell you everything about the new update and what the future plans are for the game. And I'm also going to throw in a couple of opinions myself. So, as you all know, Jane Foster, the Mighty Thor, was the last hero to join the Marvel's Avengers roster. As you may have been rampaging through AIM's forces, I wanted to give you some further details of Embracer Group's future plans and basically just a glimpse into the next playable character, who is the Winter Soldier. So then, update 2.6. They say their next update will be titled 2.6 and is currently expected to release in September. Yeah, we're in August. We're in the middle of August. We've still got to wait another month for it. So, thanks there, Embracer Group. Give us 2 Echo characters in the same year with no new content and no new missions, and then make us wait again. That's great. And considering it's Winter Soldier as well, you'd think that it would be She-Hulk. I mean, I know I've just been going on about Echo characters, but the reason they added Jane Foster when they did was because of it coincided with Thor: Love and Thunder's release. Now, I'd have thought they'd have done the same with She-Hulk, but nope. It's Winter Soldier, so WTF to that. Anyway, they say the new update will introduce the No Rest for the Wicked Warzone, finally a new mission. A new villain-focused adventure for all players, finally, new content. They go on to say the Scientist Supreme is running out of resources and clones, and takes further risks to secure AIM's power over the world. Monica has recovered MODOK's body from the San Francisco Bay, with plans to revive him for use as a weapon against the Avengers. See, now, that's been kind of teased for a very long time, and it's great that we're finally getting it, but it's a little bit late, you know? Because Black Panther's going to come in and be like, wait, who's this big fat-headed dude? And it's going to be the same with Hawkeye and Kate Bishop. They're going to be like, wait, there's a dude with a big head now? You know, those characters don't know who he is because they weren't part of the story. They were in hiding or doing other things. They don't know what happened to the Avengers during the main story. They've probably seen the news, but they don't know what happened. They don't know who this big-headed guy is. To them, it's just some mutant with a big head. So how they're going to explain that is just irrelevant, I guess, because they probably won't. But anyway, moving on. Alongside the new Warzone, starting in 2.6 and continuing in future updates, we'll be rolling out updates to our full roster of heroes. One of the most important elements of Marvel's Avengers is that everyone on our roster feels heroic to play. This will be an ongoing process over several updates as we look at combat balance and traversal and make tweaks and changes to make sure every hero continues to feel like they've leapt from the pages of the comics. So what this tells me is now Embracer Group owns the game. They're redesigning it. They're remaking it. You know, it's still Marvel's Avengers, but because Crystal Dynamics and Square Enix failed to deliver on it, you know, they failed to make anything positive on the game, Embracer Group is keeping the same IP with it, but instead of cancelling it, they're just going to rework all of it completely so it feels like a completely different game just with the same name. There's a couple of examples of games like that over the years, actually, but the list is probably as long as my arm, so I'm not going to go into it right now. Now they talk about what's going to be happening beyond this update, beyond the Winter Soldier. And okay, it adds a couple of features that I've been wanting since it was announced but never came, such as the cloning labs, which are finally being addressed, because I've got so much gear for the cloning labs in my inventory through various heroes, and you can't use it. It says available for use in the cloning labs or double damaging cloning labs. It's like, well, we never got the cloning labs, so why the fuck is it? Why the fuck is the game still giving us this gear? It's like they should have just removed the gear from the game entirely, or just put a different perk on the cloning lab gear. It's just a waste of space. It has been for a while, and I'm sure a lot of people have deleted the cloning labs gear by now. You know, thinking, well, it's never going to come. It's been canned, which is exactly what I thought, actually. They're also introducing a new Omega level threat. Fantastic. I am sick of fighting a giant Avenger knockoff robots. In fact, I'm sick of robots altogether. Ditch AIM. Get rid of AIM. I'm sick of fighting robots. Give me some proper villains instead of the same villains over and over again, like, you know, Abomination and Taskmaster. I'm just really sick of the same villains. That's what I'm saying there. They say that this Omega level threat will feature endgame content that will arrive with new gear and an increased power level cap. So they recently upgraded the power level cap to 175. So maybe it's going to go up to 185, 195, possibly 200. Who knows? We shall see later down the line. In addition to the new OLT, they're also excited to announce a new hero will be joining the roster, which I've mentioned. As a result of the events of No Rest for the Wicked and Cloning Lab, James Buchanan Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, will rejoin his former allies and his mentor, Steve Rogers. I hope they explain where he's been this whole time. He hasn't been addressed at all. Like, the entire story is just scooped over him. And it's like, you'd have expected to find him, I don't know, captured by AIM or something, or he's just been on ice, you know, for the whole mission report thing. you know what I'm saying there. But they're saying he will not be an echo character of Steve Rogers. He will have his own unique story, he will have his own unique moveset, and he will play like a new character. Which is great, because we've had 2 Echo characters this year, and we don't need a third. They continue to say they'll have many more details about the Cloning Labs and the Winter Soldier after the release of Update 2.6. They are now excited about the plans they have for Update 2.6 and beyond. Hopefully we'll get a roadmap. And they hope this glimpse excites fans as much as it's exciting them. Beginning in Update 2.6 and continuing beyond, they'll be taking the heroes on new and different adventures to encounter fresh threats, reunite with friends, and find new allies. So it's really great that Embracer Group have gone along with the game, because I've, for a long time now, since it was announced that the IP was being sold off, I've really thought that the game was, they were just going to pull the plug, you know, that they were going to release the characters that were promised from Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics, so She-Hulk, Lady Thor, and possibly whichever else they had in development. But it does seem like Embracer Group is going to be continuing the game. You know, they're going to keep it going, and they're going to redesign the whole thing. It's a game that's already been released, but they are now essentially releasing it again, because one thing really stood out to me in their statement and it's that they're going to be redesigning traversal and combat. So each character, like you get used to a certain moveset or a certain way that they can move, like running across walls or just brawling in general. That could all change, you know, that they could change the entire moveset and the way the characters move. And I like that, you know. It's like taking it back to the drawing board while it's still there, if that makes sense. I mean, I don't know a better way to put it, but the game has really been falling on hard times. So it's really nice to hear about this company just trying to bring it back from the dead. You know, that they don't want the game to die. And, well, yeah, it really has been dead for a while for me now. I mean, doing this is the first time I've picked it back up since Lady Thor dropped, and all I did was get her to power level 150, and then I put it down again, because I was sick and tired of redoing the same missions over and over and over again. I don't want to be doing the same missions a million times. Yes, new characters are great, but if they don't come with new missions, people are going to get very bored. Like Spider-Man. He came with no missions whatsoever because he was a PlayStation exclusive and they wanted to keep it fair to the Xbox players. So that's fair play. I can accept that. I can agree with that. But when Lady Thor came, she got an intro and that was it. She didn't even have any comic books. And her audio files, they really didn't do the character any justice whatsoever. At least when Spider-Man dropped, he got comic books, he got audio files, and he had a little smidge of a story. Granted, it didn't add any story to the end game content of the video game, but it gave him a little bit of a story, which Jane Foster didn't get. And we haven't really had a full Heroes campaign added since Black Panther. And that was October 2019, 2020, was it? 2021? I don't know, I forget. But yeah, we haven't had it since Black Panther was added. And that's a real disappointment, you know, because that's what's making the game fall on hard times. And that's what's making people put it down, because they're sick and tired of running the same missions a million times. Which is exactly what I'm sick of. And that's why I put it down. But anyway, yeah, if you're a fan of the game, do let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. Do you think the game is dead? Do you think I'm right that the plug is indeed going to be pulled? Or do you really think that Embracer Group, now that they've announced their future plans for the game, are deciding to keep it going, but will eventually pull the plug when they realise there's nothing we can do with this, really, let's just let it go and start again? Because personally, I think, and this is just my personal opinion, all superhero games should just be given to Insomniac Games, because they've proved they can do it, and they've proved they can do it right. Spider-Man and Marvel Spider-Man, and from the look of that little Wolverine trailer that we got, they do it amazingly. So they just really need to have the IP for all superhero games. I'm really worried about the EA Games ones that are coming up, because EA Games have also announced that they're working on an open world Black Panther game and an open world Iron Man game. So there's a bit of concern there for me, because it'll be a bad case of, yeah, you go out and buy the game, and then, yeah, you've got to pay for the rest of the story. It's like you buy it, you load it up, you install it, and then you find out you've got to pay like a premium pass or get an expansion pass or whatever just to play the rest of the game. It's retarded and it's ridiculous. That's what EA Games is. But yeah, anyway, that's it for this video. So thank you once again for stopping by. I do appreciate it. If you are new to the channel, please make sure you smash that like button and drop me a subscribe, because it would just be your good deed of the day. Same applies if you are a returning viewer. So yeah, that being said then, this has been Gamer Dude. Happy gaming, and I will catch you all in the next one, guys.